All right, so this is a hip flexor, and it's a common cause of dysfunction throughout the whole body, a lot of times in the lower back and the knee. So if you look at the way this attaches, it attaches all the way up to this L1, so that your lumbar spine attaches all the way along the whole lumbar spine, attaches onto your thigh bone here. If it's too tight, it can pull this out this way, and it can pull you into hyperextension. So what I'm gonna do is show you how we stretch it here in 3 planes, not just try to make it longer this way, but we work it in a side-to-side plane and a rotational plane also. So what I'm going to show you here with Mark here, we're getting into just a regular sagittal plane motion. So I have the leg straight, not toe down, and then we'll drive in the sagittal plane here. So this is just a front to back stretch of that hip flexor. So you can see, you can imagine as on the skeleton, it's getting tension from the top down because he has his hands up high, and then bottom up because we're keeping that knee behind his pelvis. And then we just kind of rock forward and back. So this is how we get it in that plane, which is what it's known for, and what most people stretch the hip flexor out, they'll do it this way. Now I'm just going to talk about how this works in the frontal plane or the side to side. So if your leg's out wide here, you can see that that also will stretch that muscle. And then if it's in narrow, it can also tension it. So that's one where it kind of gets ignored in that frontal plane. So I'm going to show you guys how I would do this. Me and Mark would stretch this out. So we'll start by positioning this foot wide. So take that foot, jump it out wide. And then instead of going straight in, we're just going to take the pelvis and just kind of drive it on an angle this way. So you can see how this will stretch out that muscle kind of in here in this kind of frontal plane tweaked position, still working on the sagittal. So we're getting extension with abduction. And then to get more of the iliacus part of that muscle, hop that right foot over to the other side. And then I'm going to drive the pelvis on like a 45 degree this way. And then that gets it on the frontal plane in that other end of the spectrum, I guess you'd say. So, okay, that same hip flexor muscle, it winds up this way, right? So that when you turn in, it puts it on a stretch. When you turn out, it puts it on slack. And if it's too tight, it can pull your back into rotation. So I'm going to show you how we would stretch that out in the cage here. So for this, to wind that hip flexor up even more, I'm going to have Mark toe that foot in, so pigeon that in. So that winds it up. And then from here, I'm going to take it and kind of do a little twist toward that down leg. This one can be a little tough on the knee. So if it does bother this knee, then we would have him hop it out, maybe into neutral or slightly out, and then just kind of rotate it toward that side. Another way to get at that, we take both hands and bring it over to this bar here. So now top down, he's rotated toward that side. And then we'll do that same kind of drive where it just drives kind of straight in first, and then we would drive it kind of rotating toward that leg here. So this way we're kind of getting it in all 3 planes.